Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So last time, I started in on the side bang and hid all the other hair around it. So she's a bit bald on the side now. So here's hoping that I can finish up the side bang today. So the first thing that I noticed when I was looking over at the model here was that this highlight right through here, totally off on the right head turn, so I'm going to try to fix that. Can try to fix that there first, and then I will go and try to fix it on the lower right as well. So I think I just need to move like the very center ones mostly, and then I'm just adjusting these outer ones to compensate a little bit. Is that her ear? Lovely. Okay. Just go over there. Okay. we don't need ears over there. Just gotta pretend it doesn't exist. Go hide it under the rug. It's fine. Alright. So let's see how that does. This highlight there was just way too far to the left. Alright, that's much better. And now I can start doing similar things on the lower right as well. Let's see here. Just trying to figure out what needs to be fixed. I'm gonna hide this part for a second too. I just want to know what the shape of this outer part, or I guess the inner part of the bang here, should actually look like. And that right there was being a little bit distracting. Let's go ahead and smooth that out a little bit. And then hopefully all should be well. Okay. Now to figure out where this needs to go. Once again, I think I can just get away with just pushing everything over like this. Okay, I'm not sure that's quite right, but I want to see if I'm on the right track before I do any more. Yeah, I think so. It's getting there. How's it looking from this direction? Yeah, it's definitely getting there. Okay, so far so good. Let's continue then. Just gonna do some staring for a little bit. Try to figure some of this out. Because there's a thing or two that's not moving quite the way that I want it to, and I'm not sure why yet. Sometimes it takes me a second, it's okay. And I also wanted to check the diagonal there. Make sure that I had everything here when I straightened it out looking good, and I don't think I do, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix that first. Today's temperatures in one of those weird spots where it's kind of cold, but it's too warm, but a blanket makes me too hot. So I keep putting on a blanket occasionally, and then I'm just like, nope, too hot now. Have to push it on off. Days like that are always kind of unfortunate to me. Because it's like I feel a little bit cold, but getting all warm in a blanket doesn't feel cozy. Just feels hot and kind of uncomfortable. On the bright side, that means that it might not be too cold for me to go for a walk today. I've been trying to get a bit more exercise. I'm feeling a little bit restless lately. It happens sometimes. And it's just easier to exercise when I can go on outside and take a nice little walk by the little creek in my area. Go see some bunnies. Although it's been too cold for the bunnies, so I haven't really seen any bunnies. And what is going on here? There's like this weird divot right there. I'm not sure why it's there. Well, let's see. Let us consult the mesh a little bit, but no, this all seems fine. So yeah, I'm not sure why it's there. Let's see if I can flush that out a little bit. How odd. Let's see if the mesh has anything to say about it. Not especially. Very mysterious. It's like it's a small enough thing that probably don't have to fixate too much on it, but... Hello, Luminance! And yes, it is! How is your 2025 going so far? Excellent. Yeah, mine's been going pretty well. Having a bit of insomnia, but that's nothing unusual for me. It comes and goes. I'm sure that my ability to sleep will correct itself eventually. Okay, there we go. I think that's looking a little bit better in theory. Let's see how all that's lining up here. Alright. So far so good, I think. Just need to do this end of it now. Get all of these areas to have all the angles that I want them to have. There we go. And then this outer part here is actually on a different layer. Makes it a little bit unwieldy sometimes, but it's not too bad. Alright, so far so good. I think that's looking pretty okay. I see! One moment, my speaker got pushed again. There we go. Well, welcome back. How's the game treating you again? Alright, so I think I have all those highlights lined up nicely. I think the transition from kind of the purple to the white there needs to be a little bit lower, I think, but otherwise everything is looking pretty alright. Ah, I see. I think that is the last center I don't have. So once I get her, I will have every single one again. I will be vindicated after getting very unlucky on Yao's banner. And then maybe someday I'll actually get around to reading everyone's interrogation. I think I've only gone through half to a third of them. Well, like I said, I have almost all of them. I just got very, very unlucky on Yao's banner. Had to go to pity twice because I lost the 50-50. And then I lost the 50-50 again after I forget if I had to go all the way to 80 for her too, but was not able to get Duro. I ran out of hypercubes. And then after that I was so drained that I decided to save a little just in case we got the JoJo collab. But yes, if she's next, I will finally have every single center. Hello there, Yami. How are you doing today? I've just been here, slowly tweaking some hair. Excellent. Just trying to get all of the little details in her hair here to line up with all the other head angles here. That's so far so good. I think it's going pretty well. Right now I'm kind of paying attention to these shadows right through there. I didn't feel like that they were lining up quite right. Yes, Happy New Year. And it's okay if you're late. If people hadn't reminded me that New Year's was yesterday, I would have forgotten. I do not pay a lot of particular reference to special days. I'm the type that will forget when my own birthday is. It's all good. Let's see here. Just, again, looking at all the various colors and lighting changes in that area and trying to line them up nicely. I think it's almost there. I just feel like the angle on this particular dark spot is changing a little bit more than I would like. Yeah. The very bottom of it just needs to come back to the left a little. That tells me that it's the center vertex that needs to move a bit. And I kind of need to even it out all the way through here, otherwise it'll look weird. Do you not want things to look weird? Yeah, there we go. That's already better. Oh man, there's just something about the way things are over by her eye here that I'm having trouble putting my finger on. Something is a little bit off. But I don't know what. I'm gonna go hide her head for a moment. See, make sure it's not her cheek that's throwing me off here. So we'll just have a cursed floating face for a moment, and while I figure this out. It's okay, I'm keeping her nose on this time, so it's... I can't tell if that makes it any less cursed, but... she at least has a nose. Last time I had to go into floating face mode, I had to hide the nose. Yes. It's okay, being a ghost suits her. So hopefully this will give me some idea of exactly where it's kind of... something is throwing me off. I'm not entirely sure what it is yet. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Rahu gets a little bit of a heart attack every time she sees a Shalom in general. But I know I would. Shalom is very scary. Okay. Alright, I feel like everything up there is moving down a little bit more consistently now. But now I've kind of passed things on to down here. So I'm just gonna keep pushing things down, I suppose. How do things look over here anyway? Huh. Actually looks pretty okay here. Let me look closely at this. I do see a few things that I want to fix here, but I actually do think that the gradient part right there looks pretty alright. So I might actually line up the lower right based on that, rather than using the right like I have been. Let me actually take a look at all that and see which one I like better. Yeah, I do think that the lower turn moves a little bit more evenly. Okay. So I'll start lining things up with that instead then. So I was feeling like I was pushing things down pretty low. My own character? Well, I mean, I rigged my own model a long time ago. I might make a new version eventually, but... yeah, I rigged that one myself before I ever started streaming. So that one was finished a long time ago. But yes, the art and rigging for my own model, I made myself. Everything here, or at least all the assets and overlays and stuff I made myself. As well as the stream starting and stream ending, which is harder to rig. Let's see, I think the art for Shalom is definitely more complex. But when I was rigging my own model, I was way less experienced. This was my first full body model, and the first one that I really took seriously. So I had to learn a bunch of things, and of course, while I was rigging Shalom, I learned even more things. But I'd say overall, Shalom is probably harder. Yeah, it's a pretty good time. I'm really glad that I found this program so I didn't have to try to work with a free version of Inochi2D. I've heard it can be a little bit of a nightmare. I have, like, no money, man. Get anyone to do anything is so not happening. Why I picked this one? I don't know. I liked the art in Path to Nowhere, and Shalom in particular was one of the few characters that was actually, like, looking forward, so I wouldn't have to edit her art quite as much. So I decided to go with her. It's like, come on, the art in this game is pretty. Being able to use it is pretty fun. probably will rig some original stuff at some point in the future, but I don't know when. When I feel like it. Depends on whatever I feel like making. Alright, let's start lighting things up with the lower head turn here. And it's okay, Yummy. I don't understand this stuff either. I just think I can get away with it more because I'm old. Fun times. I haven't really been keeping up with Instagram lately. Sometimes I wonder if I got shadow banned at some point. Because I got hacked. And that was a very sad day. I did manage to get my account back, but I have been getting considerably less engagement, and considering I already had, like, 0, it's been a sad day for me. It is. Protect your accounts, everyone. Otherwise, unscrupulous people will try to take them over because people buy likes. And it makes me want to shake my fist. Also, don't buy likes. Okay, now I just need to pay attention to these little textures right through here. It is to an extent. I mean, like, there is money to be made. It just reminds me of a big thing going on Twitch for a while, where people would bot to get more viewers. And that was actually a reasonable way to get more actual people to watch you, but more importantly also get sponsorships. So there was money in it. And I think that is true to an extent on Instagram as well. I'm not quite sure how all the culture there stands out. Some of it I do think is just vanity, but I do think that there is some actual business purpose in it. I'm not sure if it would be quite as prevalent if there was absolutely no money to be made from it. And it was just pure vanity. There are many things that I learned after becoming a content creator. The world of social media is wild, man. Oh, nice. It's like I am generally familiar with Twitch. I don't watch very many streams, and I'm more likely to watch VODs. Just because I tend to have them on in the background, and at that point, it doesn't really matter if the person's live or not. But I have been thinking of trying to multi-stream too. The thought of having to watch two chats is a little bit intimidating, but I could probably handle it now. I have sometimes, but I'm actually pretty terrible at video games. My reflexes are like non-existent. And having to do video game things while also talk to people would be pretty hard. I might be better about doing it now, since I can do art and talk at the same time. So who knows? I'd have to think about whether there's anything that I want to play. There just hasn't been a lot of games that have looked all that interesting to me. Maybe I'll go look for another Metroidvania or something. I don't know. This is why I stream art and not games. So right now I'm doing some kind of fairly delicate and precise stuff. 'Cause I'm trying to line up the strand with what's going on up here. And if you look around this highlight and shadow in this area, that's probably the most egregious spot, where it really just kind of expands. And I'm trying to see which area has it right. It's like, is it too thin on the right? Is it too thick on the left or the lower right? All that kind of stuff. I'm not quite sure yet. Problem with streaming games or problem with bangs here? It's okay. The main reason that I just stick with streaming art is because I like doing art every day. It's a good time. It makes me happy. Do I have anything upcoming for January? I'm gonna keep doing weekly speed paints, and I've been thinking about doing some various stylistic experiments again. I have a couple of things that I want to try. I don't know of any particular, like, that I plan to try for. No January equivalent of Inktober or anything. I don't think the next one is until May, with Mermay. So I'll probably do that, depending on what's going on in May, I guess. But as always with my style experiments, I tend to take my time with them. So it might be a while before I post things. And I've also been trying to learn a bit of 3D modeling too. So, depending on how much progress I make with that, you might see some of that, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen this month. There's many things to learn before I can do too much with that. But the good news, at least with 3D, is I'm already pretty familiar with drawing turnarounds. So I should be able to draw any 2D art necessary to facilitate 3D art. Already know how to do that. Alright, I was just, once again, checking which areas I want to fix in the lower right and which areas that I want to fix in the right. Those decisions are kind of tricky here, but I think I know roughly what needs to be fixed in each one. This little bang just has all kinds of little colors on it. It's like, if you zoom in, it's like, look at it all. You have the stuff going up here, and we've got a line going down the side, these highlights over here. All of which are slightly different colors, and this light pink spot, this darker gray spot, this darker pink spot. There's a lot of things. And I'm trying to line every one of them up. The parts of hair closer to her face are much more detailed than the parts going further back. Which makes sense. Oh, congrats. That's a good way to be, trying to do a little bit of something every day. Because if you can keep that up, I can guarantee that you'll be able to get your art to the level that you want it to be at. Whatever that level may be. Have you posted anything online yet? Or anything that you want people to see? Well, thank you. It's okay. The art journey is pretty rough. It's actually only relatively recently that I've started liking my own art. For the long time, I really did not. So sometimes it takes a while. But it's kind of cool because I can look back at the stuff that I was drawing when I started liking my stuff. And even some stuff that I thought was pretty cool that I was drawing last year. And the stuff that took me a week, I can do better in less than 2 hours now. So... Okay. Yeah, sounds good to me. I'll look forward to seeing it. Alright, I think I've made all the changes I want in the lower right, so now it's time to adjust things on the right. Line things up with the lower right. Do always have a bit of a hard time telling when I should be changing one keyframe versus another. Do I change what's in the corner, or do I change what's in one of these other ones? And in this case, I do think that the lower right is doing it better than the right. So I'm gonna go ahead and line them up like this. Just gonna take my time here. Make sure I get everything just the way I want it. The strand is right next to our eyes, so it's worth spending a little bit of extra time just to get everything really nice. Okay, so there's... How exactly is this supposed to line up? Is it just like this? Let me compare over here. Yeah, it does look like it just overlaps there, because this strand is kind of a pain with how I cut it. I guess it depends on what you mean. I wouldn't call it super fan servicey overall. But like it is absolutely a waifu game. Like they're trying to make their characters very appealing and the kind of characters people might like fall in love with. It was actually pretty blatant in the recent event. Because wow, I'm not sure if you've read the event that's currently happening, but there is a scene where the S-rank sitter kind of starts strangling the chief, you know, the self-insert character, and it's done in a way that's very clearly meant to be sexy, and I'm just like, dude. So I mean, the writers know what their players want to an extent, and I don't think there's any denying that. But but I wouldn't call it a super fan servicey game, no. Sometimes it goes a bit harder on the waifu bait than I personally prefer, but it's well within my tolerance levels. Yeah. Overall, I'm still enjoying it. I've kind of felt like the last two events have been a little bit weaker than a lot of the other ones that they've put out, but it's hard to have super consistent high quality all the time. And I do wonder if the anniversary event ate a lot of their budget. In what way? I'm not quite sure what you mean there. Alright, meanwhile, I feel like I'm starting to get all of this lining up nicely. I actually think I see a part on the right that does it a little bit better than the lower right. So let's go ahead and make some adjustments down here too. Alright, I think that strand seems fine now. Looks like it's all lining up pretty nicely. Now I just want to go onto the tip and make sure that it's not crunchy. Right now it's looking slightly crunchy. So I'm just gonna clean that up a little bit. Alright, that sprouts a little bit better. Now let's clean up the very tip here. Okay, there we go, that looks a little bit better. And now, it is time for the side. Time to line up the side. Okay. Once again, I have to decide which areas do it best. And indeed, I do think that the bottom and the right are better than the lower right, so we'll be adjusting accordingly. A long way with the event, or? Okay. Oh no. Oh, that's good. It's, I imagine it's, pretty difficult to be playing phone games when your fingers hurt. That sounds like it'd be pretty hard. And I swear, having a hurt finger is like one of the worst things, because you use your fingers for so many things. I know that the last time I hurt one of mine, I just kept bumping into it, and it'd be like, ow. It was terrible. I remember when I was just a tiny one myself, I slammed my finger in the door of the car. And that was an experience. Basically could not use the finger for a while. The finger didn't break or anything, but it was still pretty unpleasant. Fortunately, it was on my non-dominant hand, so I wasn't constantly bumping it into things or wanting to use it when I couldn't. Yeah, it would be deeply unfortunate. Probably would not have been able to write. Which, considering I was in middle school at the time, I believe, would have made life a little bit difficult. I'll spare you guys all the gory details, but what our body does to heal itself is actually pretty cool. And just watching an injury of that scale gradually get better was kind of interesting. I feel that way about a lot of things. For as much as I think bodies are the worst, I actually do think that the way our bodies are put together is pretty cool. Biology in general is pretty interesting, just how much of a miracle life itself is. And all the little things that are happening without our knowledge, and that the world was able to put together for us. It's one of those things that's always fun to think about, because the probability of us existing as we are is just so astronomically low. But yet, here we are. It all happened. It involved the the decisions of people from just millions of years ago, and the decisions they made, decisions to reproduce, and what they ate and what they didn't. Like there's actually some interesting how would you describe it? I guess you could only describe it as fossilized genes within the human genome that, for whatever reason, stopped activating. Okay. I can talk about that a little bit later, but yes. My favorite character in Path to Nowhere is actually Hella. What? Me going on a ramble about fossilized genes? But... yes. And the miracle of life. But yes. Favorite Path to Nowhere character is Hella. In general, I like the ones that chew the scenery. So that'd be like Hella, Raven, and ones like those. Be very loud and very dramatic, and I will probably like you. If you're a fictional character. But yeah, with fossilized genes and whatnot, humans do actually have genes to make their own vitamin C, but for whatever reason, they are not they don't activate anymore. So they're basically fossils within our genome, and I always thought that was interesting. Because at some point in the past, I guess, some gene mutation happened that just stopped people from being able to make their own vitamin C. I mean, most mammals can make vitamin C, which is probably why it ended up in our genes in the first place. But at some point it just deactivated, but because our diet, or our ancestors' diet at that time, largely consisted of fruit, it didn't really matter, because we were able to get vitamin C from food. And that is why humans have to get vitamin C from food. I don't know, I just come across random things sometimes. And I think it's very interesting. But yes, because our ancestors were able to find food with vitamin C in it and no longer really needed to worry about producing it themselves, the ones that were not able to produce their own vitamin C did not die out, and thus eventually the genes within humans in general that was able to produce vitamin C just stopped showing itself. But it's still there. It's still there in our genome. We can see it. It has been sequenced. And I just think that's cool. Sure. I'm not sure if YouTube will let you send links. I keep trying to find a way to disable its automatic link filter, but I have not been able to find a way to do it. So you can just message me on Twitter or something, and I'll take a look. Oh no, autosave. Okay, there we go. Autosave, saying hello, making things pause for a second. Oh no! I really should make a Pinterest account at some point. I never got around to doing so. Oh man. This is where I'm just staring at all of the little color changes here and being like, my goodness, why do you have to be so hard to line up? Everything just twitching in a way that bothers me a little bit. And I'm having a hard time getting it to where it needs to go, but I think I just got it. We'll see what the ever-picky me of tomorrow thinks, but for now, I think that's okay. Now, just to get the curve on this shadow shape looking right. Always a bit easier said than done. And then I want to get a nice little curl on the bottom there. Okay, curved it a little bit too much, it looks like. That's alright. Let's readjust it again. It's funny, a lot of these little things that I need to fix, I kind of exaggerate in my head how much I have to change them. And so sometimes I overdo it a little. Let's see here. Oh yeah, there we go. Almost got it. Almost there. I don't want it to twitch quite that much. I think past me probably would have called that good. But I have learned that I need to be a little bit more deliberate with these things, otherwise they're not going to look quite right. Alas. Well, if you find it, send it my way. And don't worry, if you can't find it, it's not the end of the world. There's plenty of other things that I still want to try on my own. What is it? Extremely bright and loud style? It is true. I do like a lot of loud and colorful styles. Alright, I think that's probably good. So, side bang complete. Let's turn on some hair. And that one. Alright, leave the other strands hidden still, but we can at least put the rest of her hair back on. Do you happen to remember who the artist that drew it is? The picture you're thinking of? Let's see here. It looks like I actually do need to make a few corrections here and there. Now I'm looking at the part that the side bang kind of sits on top of. I'm just noticing when I took a look at things over here that some things were just a little bit off. Man, I wish my hand was steadier. Okay. I think that's alright. Got the area where it kind of parts in a slightly better spot. And nothing I've changed has broken anything else, so that's a plus. So I think I'll poke around with this for a little bit, and that will probably be where I stop for today. See how much I want to fix this little area in the other angles. Alright, yeah, I do think that is a little bit better. They'll probably have to clean it up a little bit. That's okay. I can do that. And then over here, I think I want to push the very, very bottom of it over just a little bit. There we go. Just something like that. But otherwise, I do think that looks pretty good. Might need a little bit of cleanup at the bottom, but that's okay. I'll do that little bit of cleanup a little bit later. And now this is where I have to line things up down here. Honestly, cleanup sounds like a good job for the me of tomorrow. I'm just going to try to get them in good spots. And it's okay, that side bang is always tricky, so I'm pretty happy I was able to get it all done today. And I even fixed a bunch of stuff on other turns, so that's pretty sweet. I think that's pretty good progress for today. I'm not quite sure I'm going to reconcile some of that, though. Let's see here. I do think that the problem is in the right turn here. Oh, you found it! Nice! Congrats! So like I said, I'm not sure if YouTube will let you post the link, but if it doesn't, you can send it to me on Twitter and I'll check. Alright, there we go. I think that's actually lining up nicely here. Yeah. I guess I'll go ahead and start cleaning things up here. Might as well. Made some fairly large adjustments with the brush, so there's a few spots that got a little bit crunchy in the process. So I just want to get those points nice and neat again. Every vertex deserves the perfect spot. And I will keep searching for that. Looks like a lot of these got kind of bunched together. See how much I need to separate them. If the vertices all want their personal space. I think the ones over here are more okay with the big group hug. They're always all pretty close together. Just how it was meshed. Alright. Sounds good. Alright, so I think I got the edge cleaned there. I don't think I want to do the shadow tonight. I think I'll do that tomorrow. But let's go see if all of that is looking pretty okay. Are they all lining up nicely? Do my nice big square here. Make sure there's nothing out of place. And yeah, I think that's looking pretty okay. So I'll just finish cleaning up the lower right tomorrow. But I do think that this is where I will end for today. So thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to create something wonderful today. So I'll see you all tomorrow.